All right, I have a little life hack for your testimony, a little quick tip to give some spiritual momentum, a little boost to your testimony. Hear me out. I know this is going to sound crazy, but hear me out. One of the best things you can do for your testimony is arrive to church early. Revolutionary idea, I know, but I intend to explain. One of the things that we realized many years ago is that we kept arriving to church on time but not early, and it was starting to bother me because I don't really like that feeling of rushedness. And so I was praying about it and stuff, and realized that I could probably get everybody to church early without a whole lot of effort. And so I did. This is like 10 years ago, so we had four kids under five. And I realized that if I just shifted up the routine and did a couple things differently, that we could get to church early. Um, like if I would give prompts in the morning before church, right? Like, okay, get your shoes on, get in the car, whatever. And if I just shifted everything up by 15 minutes, then we could get to church early. It wasn't that big a deal. Kind of like setting your clock forward, but instead of setting your clock forward, you just give the prompts forward. And the way that it worked was I realized one of the things that happened. So I realized that when I would say get in the car, it would take everybody about 10 minutes to get in the car. And so saying get in the car when I wanted them to be in the car made us 10 minutes late. So I started saying get in the car 10 minutes ahead of when I actually wanted them to be in the car, which would put them in the car. And I wanted them to be in the car. Okay. So getting to church early actually does a couple of amazing things. And I'm going to state the obvious first so that I don't have people like walking backwards on this. If people, generally speaking, if you arrive late to church consistently, generally speaking, it's seen as like you're not taking this seriously. Or if you have kids under the age of 5, it's just kind of like, oh, they're just kind of out of control. They can't get things under control or whatever, which is totally acceptable if you have kids under 5. Nobody expects you to have anything under control when you have little kids. So if you arrive late, it's hard because you don't feel prepared when you arrive. You're rushed and you don't really have time to settle in. You don't really know if anything's going on or whatever. If you arrive on time, it's kind of the same thing. On time is effectively late when it comes to building the momentum of your testimony. If you arrive early, you're able to do a lot of different things. You're able to reflect, meditate, talk to people, shake hands, see what's going on, if anybody needs any help, preparing or, wishing people good luck on their talks or whatever it is. And if there was one single thing that I could recommend to somebody, given 15 minutes of their week to improve their testimony, I think this would be it. I think the case for this is really strong actually, because if somebody said, I have an extra 5 minutes a week, an extra 15 minutes a week, what's one thing I could do with that 15 minutes that would boost my testimony the most? I think it might be this: ahead of 15 more minutes of prayer or scripture study or temple or family home union stuff or church videos, like all of the typical stuff. I think just given the amount of time you have to put in, which is very little time, and the benefit you get from arriving to church just a little bit early, this has got to be the biggest bang for the buck. Pound for pound, I think arriving to church early is probably the biggest boost to your testimony. Okay. Now, when the reason I say testimony is because the there's kind of an intrinsic or subconscious thing that happens here, where when you arrive early to church, what you're telling yourself is, I take my faith seriously. Arriving to church early actually helps do all the other things during the week. It actually helps you read. It helps you pray. It helps you do family meeting. It helps you get to the temple because you're arriving to church early and you're kind of manifesting this priority in your life, which is church. I was thinking as I was trying to formulate some ideas around this, why I think this might be one of the biggest tricks to boosting your testimony. I think it kind of goes back to making your bed. So a few years ago, there was some kind of retired military figure, admiral, I can't remember, Marine, I can't remember what it was. But he gave this talk about making your bed in the morning and how this simple little thing kind of gives you the boost that you need to get everything else in your day correct. And even Peterson talks about this, about cleaning your room. If you keep your room clean, everything else in your life will start to line up for you so that you can make sense of things. Not that things automatically happen, but so cleaning your room is a good way to get your life in order, start getting your life in order. And I think arriving to church early has got to be that kind of a thing. It's like making your bed, it's cleaning your room, it's you showing yourself that your testimony is important to you. And one of the reasons again is it goes back to this whole like apathy, empathy thing. When you show up late, it's kind of a selfish way to manifest yourself before the Lord. And when you arrive early, you're already telling yourself there's something more important than you, like whether that's the service or just talking to people or seeing people. And that's one of the great things about arriving early is you get to talk to people. And if that's hard for you, then I definitely recommend arriving early because you get to just say hi to people and eventually get to know their names and eventually get to know their stories. And it's just little by little every single week. That consistency is huge in building testimony of the gospel because the people, I mean, we are the gospel, we are the church, and other people are the gospel, where we are required to love everyone, love ourselves, and this is a great way to manifest obedience to that commandment. So, yeah, I would highly recommend everybody try it out, even if you have to shoot for the moon and be like, oh, we're going to get there an hour early, and you only end up getting there 5 minutes early. Like, play around with it and get there early and take it seriously because it's a ton of fun and it's a great way to give your testimony a good boost. I challenge you all to do it. And if you have morning meetings, arrive early, sit and pray. I have friends that arrive to church and they just kneel and pray because it's kind of their tradition to do that in the sanctuary. Our sacrament meetings before church are getting louder and louder and louder, which is great because there's a lot of friendship that happens before the meeting. We don't hang out after the meetings. We all got to get home and get fed or whatever. So why not arrive a half hour early and enjoy each other and help each other out? I think it's a great way to boost. All right, see you.